all budding bakers this morning. Happy Easter to you all. Mwah. Today is a very special day today because today Luke is 10. Luke, happy birthday to you. Cannot believe you're 10 and your mum is making a special chocolate tart. One of Trisha's specials. Have a fantastic birthday. Can't believe you're into the double digits. Fantastic. Have a brilliant birthday, Luke. Keep cracking eggs. So this morning we have decided to do some boing, boing, boing bunny buns. What bunny buns? Other known as profiteroles. These profiteroles are divine. They are a light, crispy pastry. They are absolutely delicious. They're filled with cream or creme patisserie. They're dosed in 400 million pounds of chocolate and they're absolutely divine. So this morning I am starting with 150 mils of water. I'm starting with butter. We have 50 grams of butter. Now I have softened the butter. This is a bit of a tip in that when I'm making my choux pastry, the reason I'm doing the softened butter, when I'm trying to dissolve it in the water, if that's cold from the fridge, it takes that little bit longer. If it takes that little bit longer to melt, your water is going to evaporate. If the water evaporates, you will end up like a profiterole, as dry as Gandhi's flip-flop, which we do not want to have. We want to have light, airy, fluffy, beautiful profiteroles. So, quarter pint of water, 150 mils of water, 50 grams of butter. I've used salted butter because I'm from Ireland and all our butter is salted. You can use unsalted butter if you want to control the salt. I don't. So we have got 65 grams of plain flour and I have got 2 beautiful free-range eggs. They are, look at them, sunshine in a pot. Absolutely delicious. So starting off, stop saying so. We are putting our water into our saucepan, followed by our butter. Turn on the gas, which would be helpful to heat the water. And in goes our butter. Don't worry, I'm going to show you this. It'll only take a few seconds. Maybe possibly a minute. Could take longer. Depends on how long I talk. So, we've got the butter in our pan. Next thing is, we've got our jug. In goes our bloop, bloop, into our container, and we need to whip our eggs, which I forgot a fork. 2 seconds. And we're going to skip. Skippity-doo-dah, skippity-day, my oh my, what a wonderful day. So all I'm doing is getting rid of any lumps and bumps in my egg. Now, one of the things to bear in mind, I use 2 large eggs. I may not use all the egg. I might reserve a little bit. Being, when you get used to making the choux, you'll realize you may not need all the egg. So reserve it. Don't just throw in all the egg anyway, because it's almost like an emulsifying factor when you're making your choux buns. So we have our egg. I've also brought even my trusty Ken. Mr. Ken Wood is going to help me today because I will have arms like Arnold Schwarzenegger by the time I beat my choux. Now, I will show you the method using your good old physical muscle if you don't have a mixer. I use my Kenwood because it saves my sanity and saves my time. And again, I'm using plain flour. The plain flour, I have used strong flour. I just feel, as you can see from the photograph, these profiteroles are absolutely beautiful. They blow up. They're fabulous and full. The strong flour gives the strength. If you have plain flour, it's not a problem. So we have got our butter nearly there. Elevator music on in the background. Lovely day, isn't it? Lovely day. Just waiting for our water to boil. So actually, while we're waiting for our water to boil, Alexa, have you a joke about the Easter Bunny?
Why was the rabbit so happy? Because some bunny loved him.
Why was the bunny so happy? Because some bunny loved him. I'll take that, Alexa. But I'll charge you another one. Alexa, have you another joke about the Easter Bunny?
What's the Easter Bunny's favourite kind of music? Hippity hop.
Do you know, Alexa, you say it with so much enthusiasm on Easter Sunday. Hippity hop. That's a very funny joke. I'll remember that because it was so funny. Now, we are coming to a very, very slight bubble, 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 nearly. I'm going to whisk this over and you can see the stage of my butter. So can you see the butter is beginning to melt? Not quite done yet. I need to raise the temperature in the kitchen to bring it to a boil. I'm sure they can hear me down in Crosshaven or practically Kerry when I'm speaking. So apologies out there if I'm a little too zippity-doo-dah for you on a Sunday morning, but it is Easter Sunday. How can you not be excited? Easter Sunday. I got Easter eggs this morning. It's the first thing you eat on Easter Sunday. Your eggs. Mine were preferably Cadbury's. So yum, yum, yum. Okay, it's nearly coming to the boil. Nearly coming. And don't rush this. Because one of the things I do not want is that if you don't evaporate a certain amount of that water, you will end up with flat profiteroles. Nobody wants a flat profiteroles. You'll end up with a soggy bottom as well. No. Nobody wants a soggy bottom. Not on my watch. So no soggy bottoms. So you need to have this lovely bubble, bubble, bubble. Just when it's approaching bubble time is when you put in the flour. Now, my flour is in a container. I tend to put it on greaseproof. Guess what I have run out of? I do not have any more greaseproof left, which is a bit of a blessing because I do have a silicone mat which I will be using for my profiteroles. And at this stage, it is essential in a house if you don't have your greaseproof. So we're coming up to the boil. We're coming up to the boil. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. So these will normally take minutes, just as long as your water boils and your butter. But listen lads, this is Facebook Live. Am I bothered? If it takes a minute or two, it takes another minute too. Don't rush it. Take your time. It's Easter Sunday. Click the kettle on. Have a cup of coffee. Blah, 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 blah. And off it goes. Now, and I will turn down the gas. I've got my weapon of choice, my wooden spoon, and I'm going to sprinkle in my flour. Say, what? Wow, Trish, this is going to be really nice. Look at what I'm doing this morning. Can you zoom in on that, Sophie? Thank you very much. Now, this is a miracle in itself, getting a teenager to even move this morning. So I appreciate, Sophie, that you've got up on Easter Sunday to help your mother. Because normally, teenagers are like vegetables and they just stay there. And they have a little bell and ding-a-ling-a-ling, I'm hungry. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-ling, is it lunchtime? Ding-a-ling-a-ling-ling, what day is it? Ding-a-ling-a-ling, did you see my jeans? So, all I'm doing at the moment is I am mixing the water, butter, and I'm making sure all the flour is incorporated. Now, can you see? I'll bring this over. Okay? I'm putting it back on the hob, turning up the heat for just another minute. I'm just going to cook out that flour. I don't want that floury taste. I want the taste, the flavors to be mouth-wateringly delicious. So when you eat that crunchy shell, crunchy bottom of profiterole filled with your cream, pastry cream, happy days. So we are at blast off. Nearly forgot how to turn off my gas. So we are bringing Mr. Kenwood in on the scene. Hello, Mr. Kenwood. Nice to see you. Again, what I love about this machine, it makes everything so much easier for me on Easter Sunday. Now, I'm putting the dough, or the choux paste, into the bowl, and I'm going to spread it around the bowl. And if my trusty Sophie can zoom in, that means moving. And steady as she goes, no wibble wobbles, wibble wobbles. I'm just going to push, can you see? Push this, and you can see the steam lifting off the choux. Now, the reason I'm doing this is, obviously, I want it to cool down faster. But secondly, when I'm adding my egg, I am not adding scrambled egg to my profiterole. Because if I add the egg in now while it's super duper hot, the problem is you end up, oh, is that a scrambled egg profiterole? Although I could have maybe reinvented a new recipe, scrambled egg profiteroles. doesn't have the same ring to it with covered in chocolate and filled with cream patisserie or cream pastry cream even, or whipped cream. I digress. We're coming back to our bowl. So down this goes, and I'm turning it on very slowly. So I'm just getting it smeared in the inside of the bowl. Can you see the steam rising? Okay. And if Sophie comes a little closer, whoa, no speed wobbles, no speed wobbles. Oh, turned on. Wait, I'm trying to do this upside down. Okay. So I'm going to speed this up a bit because I'm now going to add my egg. Now, I was going to show you how to do it by hand. You basically do the same as the mixer. You beat the living daylights out of the shoe. And I decided, no, I'm not going to. It's Easter Sunday. I need my strength for eating these profiteroles. Now, as I am adding the egg little by little, it's almost emulsifying something similar to a mayonnaise. So I'm waiting until I can see that the batter is incorporated and the egg is sucked up into that paste before I add any more. So can you see it's pulling away from the sides? I still have loads of egg. In it goes little by little. The other thing too is that it's also incorporating your egg. It's also cooling down the mix. Sorry for that delay. Sophie was miming me something. I had no idea what you said. You just have to shout out over the camera. Okay. Look at that. Now we're going to speed it up, speed it up, speed it up. Not slowing down. We're going to speed it up. Speed it up. We're going to speed it up. And then we're going to slow it down. Okay. Another little bit of egg. So we've got our egg. It's slowly coming together. You've got this lovely paste. This is not rocket science. Baking is this lovely therapy. Do not get stressed over baking. I've reduced the quantities. You're not having 4 eggs and lots of flour and panic stations. And making mistakes when you bake is how you learn how to bake. So if your profiteroles go kerplunk, don't worry, do them again. Listen again and again and again. I don't know how many times I have done this. You learn by your mistakes. So don't ever feel that when you're baking it has to be the best, beautiful bakes in the whole wide world. Give it one last. Now I don't need all my egg. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, I'm liking that. Turn it around. Off with my mix. Bum bum. Dun, dun. Oh, slippity slop. Oh. This is what I would have been doing for the last 5 minutes, beating the egg in. Down a kangaroo dance, down a kangaroo dance. Now can you see, bloop, which is a perfect consistency. Thank you, Mr. Kenwood. Lovely doing business with you yet again. Turn off the light. And now I'm just getting a jug. My poor Sophie can't do everything. She can't hold the camera and hold the piping bag at the same time. If you do have somebody that is standing next to you, pray to the Lord that your profiteroles work. If you put your hands together and pray, it's very easy to hold a piping bag. Okay, so you pray to the gods. I have my piping bag in it and I have a little nozzle. And in the mixture goes. Now this is going to go into a very hot oven. Now when I say hot, I think everything at this stage is nearly 180 degrees. 180. This goes in at 200. If you can even crank it to 220, fab. The reason being, when you're putting in your profiteroles into the oven, you also want that water that's been incorporated into your batter to evaporate. And no better thing to evaporate than a hot oven. Remember your piping bag farts, just in case. Whoop. Move your jug. Get my tray. Now, 2 seconds while. Last thing I want is putting my tray on some goo. Clean as you go. Clean as you go. So now, I'm going to. Do you like what I did there? Shoo pastry into the oven. Just a little swirl. Now, these will take 25 minutes in an oven. You will take them out after the 25 minutes and you will pierce a hole in the side of your profiterole. 2 minutes and I'll show you how. In they go. So this morning I had made some profiteroles, and you literally, as they come out of the oven, you go and you create a hole. That hole lets the steam escape. Other than that, your profiteroles will collapse and start to flop. You will end up with a soggy profiterole. So, skewer, spoon, in it goes, back into the oven for 5 minutes and 5 minutes only, and then you end up with, can you hear that? That lovely crunchy bottom. And the smooth top. Now I have ridged it because I've used a star nozzle, because when the chocolate sauce goes on it, lads, when the chocolate sauce goes on it, it sticks to those ridges. Stay there when I melt the chocolate. So, the next stage, we have got, up and down and on the corner, we have got 50 grams of butter, 125 grams of dark chocolate. I like to use 55%. If you don't have 55%, crack open an Easter egg. Listen lads, there you'll have lots this morning, and use some chocolate. And then about 30 grams, about 2 tablespoons of golden syrup. So first thing I'm going to do, zap it in the microwave for a minute. Or you can do it in double burner. I'm going to melt my butter. The reason I like adding the golden syrup is that it has that slightly chewiness to the chocolate sauce. While I'm waiting for the chocolate, I have got my piping bag filled with cream, and I'm going to put a tiny little hole at the top. Now, the reason I'm putting a tiny little bit hole is you can control the flow of cream going into your profiterole. So the hole that you have created, woo-hoo-hoo! Listen lads, I keep piping until that explodes more. So you've got a profiterole filled with cream. And you keep filling, keep filling, keep filling, keep filling, keep filling, keep filling, keep filling. And hold on, because I have a few prepared earlier. Oop! Now I literally threw them into that oven like a hot snot this morning, so big fat globs of cream go into your profiterole. I'll get a fancy smency plate now when I put the chocolate sauce on it. So squeeze, check our chocolate. Probably another minute, which is perfect because it gives me another minute to fill my cream. And in goes, oh look at that cream. I got my, where's my fancy schmancy plate? What better way to enjoy Easter Sunday than with cream and chocolate? And what I love about these, you see, is that you'll have a lovely crunchy base. You'll have a sort of soft center filled with either whipped cream. Now, another lovely tip, if you bring your ice cream, take it out of the freezer and give it a bit of a mix until it's slightly pipeable, you can fill your profiteroles with your ice cream. Put them in the freezer for about 5 minutes, come out, pour the chocolate sauce. The chocolate sauce will instantly solidify because the profiteroles have been chilled in the freezer, and they are absolutely amazing. You can also make profiteroles the day before, and if perchance they go a little soggy, shove them back into the oven, preheated again at 200 for 5 minutes. Now, this is Facebook Live, Easter Sunday, Murphy's Law. It still hasn't melted. So, as I said, am I worth it? Am I bothered? Am I bothered? So, another minute or so. Stay with me, lads. We're nearly there. You can smell victory. Stay there. Ooh, technology sounds like Star Trek. So we have got our cream-filled profiteroles with that lovely crunchy bottom, soft squidgy center, and the pièce de résistance is the chocolate sauce. If it would ever hurry up, all I'm going to do is then melt the butter and the golden syrup. Stay there, just stay there. While we're waiting. So it's not quite melted yet, but the residual heat of the chocolate is continuing to melt. So what I don't want is to overheat the chocolate. So again, these containers are just fantastic. You can have it all weighed up the night before. Get your little, spitter. That's my butter bun. Throw my butter into my chocolate. And even that butter is melting the chocolate even more. So I now have a chocolate soup. So at the moment, I have butter and I've got chocolate. And then I'm going to put in my golden syrup. And don't forget, oil the container. Because if you oil your container of your golden syrup, it flops out. Oops, slop. Now, this is where you've got your golden syrup. The butter will give it a shine. The chocolate will start to solidify. This is where, no! This is where, you could get a piping bag, but I didn't. You can get about, you can get about 20 of these profiteroles. I decided to go big or go home. So I wanted big, fat profiteroles for my Easter Sunday. And there's more in the oven. And as I said, you've more control in a piping bag. But I didn't get a piping bag ready. So there you go, lads. Facebook Live. This is where, on a wing and a prayer, you can make profiteroles in, not bad, less than 20 minutes. Oh, lads. And there's more chocolate sauce. So more chocolate. More is more on Easter Sunday. And there are more profiteroles in my oven. So I'll be making more chocolate. So this morning, profiteroles. Hope it didn't frighten you out. This is a lovely method to do your profiteroles. There is no panic with baking. Breathe and crack on, and we shall see you tomorrow at 10.